welcome to another episode of 50 Shades of Over 50. I have an amazing guest for you today. Listen, you're in for a treat. So buckle in, put your headphones in, whatever you need to do, set some time aside and listen to it. You have to listen to this in its entirety. Don't just say, okay, listen to a bit, just listen to everything. So I'd like to welcome today, Paige Williams. How are you?
I am great. I am busy, but absolutely great. Thank you.
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, I always like to tell my guests to start with their age and then a little bit about you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I am 54 years old. I grew up in the panhandle of Florida in Fort Walton Beach. I graduated from the University of Florida. For undergrad, I went to University of West Florida for graduate school. And before I could get too far into a career, I met my husband, and then everything stopped because there he was. So he was active duty Air Force. So we moved around the world a little bit, moved around the country. We have 3 children who are now 23, 21, and one who just turned 18. One out of college, one at the Virginia Military Institute, about to graduate, become an Air Force intelligence officer. And our 18-year-old is in the middle of the college pursuit. But my husband retired from the Air Force. We came to Lexington, Virginia. He's a graduate from 1983 of the Virginia Military Institute. We moved here 17 years ago. I thought, 3 or 4 years, we'll do something else. And not only did we not leave, we're not going to leave. We are in love with this town, in love with the people, the area, everything about this entire county is just, it's a great place to raise children, and now a great place to open a bookstore.
Yeah. So what did you do currently before opening the bookstore? So let's talk a little bit about that before you tell us about how the bookstore came to be.
Well, before opening the bookstore, and actually I'm still on the faculty at the Virginia Military Institute. I teach in the psychology department, a 4-semester required course for those who are not going into the military and not commissioning. They are required to take this course. I teach the first 2 semesters of it. And I've been doing that for a few years. Prior to that, I tutored athletes in psychology and biology. So happy doing that. But when this opportunity came up, I've had to split my time. I don't want to give up my time at VMI. I love it too much.
Yeah.
But I had to back off a little bit to do this.
Okay.
But that and raising children full time.
Yes. So you decided to open a bookstore. How old were you when you decided, okay, I'm going ahead with this?
Wow. Okay, backing up a bit. I started wanting to have a bookstore when I was about 6 or 7 years old. So doing the math.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And as time went by, it was one of those things in my head. Every time we would visit a new town, every time we go on vacation, anywhere we'd go, the first thing I wanted to do was see that independent bookstore, go in there and look around. And in my mind was always that, oh, I really want to do this. I really want one of these. Here's what I would do. And we already had a bookstore everywhere we lived. There was one in place, so there's no need to open another one. Plus, young children, I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
We got to Lexington, and we have the corner bookstore. They didn't need another one.
Yeah.
So time went by, and after COVID really took a hold, the bookstore on our corner decided to close, and we no longer had a store that carried predominantly new books. I have all new books, but we didn't have this, and we didn't have one that had a specific children's section the way ours is set up.
Yeah.
And my business model, it was time to make it happen. Everything was falling into place. So the real plans started about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we started putting it on paper. It had been in my head.
So you're already in your 50s, basically, when that started.
So I would say I was about 50. Right about that time, we said, when if that store closes, then it's going to be our time. We actually, my husband and I and our daughter, who's an interior designer, looked at different storefronts in Lexington. The right space, is that the right space? And nothing clicked. Things just weren't clicking right. And I didn't feel it. So one day, the bookstore had closed down the street. We're walking along this past April and saw, lo and behold, here's the storefront that's open. We peeked in. I saw what you see behind me, that big structure
Yeah.
that it turns out has been in this spot for over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Looked at it and
Wow.
said, whoa, this is for me. This is it. Looked at it the next day, and within maybe 3 or 4 days, we'd signed a contract. And we said,
Wow. And this was this year in April. Wow.
yeah. So we opened Memorial Day weekend. So we opened quickly. But the reason
Wow.
it went so fast is my family joined in. It wasn't me trying to push this through. I
Mm,
had a family backing me up. Everybody has a different skill, a different
mm.
strength. They put those together and it happened. And if I had not had my family
Oh,
saying, Mom, do it, and my husband, my
oh,
wonderful husband saying, no, this is your dream. It's time for your dream. This is going to work. Let's make it
oh.
happen.
I think
And
it's wonderful when you have support, though. It makes a big difference,
oh,
though.
absolutely. And the thing is, I didn't just have the support and them saying, do it. They actually put the time in, they put the sweat in. They did a lot
Yeah.
of the painting in here. My daughter is an
Wow.
artist, is very creative. And she and my oldest daughter did all the artwork, our logo, everything. Our younger daughter knows how to put it all together on social media. It just took off.
Mm.
And this family put this together and did this.
Oh,
And I feel like they did it for me. And
oh,
that makes me love this even more, is the fact that
yeah.
it's their hands that painted. It's their ideas that we've put together. I had one
Mhm.
plan, and of course, a plan is going to evolve, especially after you get into
Yes,
space and see
true.
how it work. And instead of having shelving that just goes one after the other, my family said, "Hey, look at this. Let's do it.
Mm.
What about this?" My husband
Yeah.
built things for me, and we put it all together, and it actually is more cozy
Oh,
than I had even imagined.
oh my. So tell me, what did it feel like seeing it all come like you're like it's opening, you opening the bookstore. It's like real life now. This is no longer a dream or goal.
It was, I think surreal is the perfect word,
Mm.
because the day we opened, we had the paper bag over the paper, the brown paper over
Yes.
the windows. And it's one window and then a door. We had it all covered. And when it was opening day, my family was up early, everybody was keyed up, everything was just, it was almost like
Yeah.
Christmas morning. We got over here and took the paper off, and our dear friends were camping outside as if they've been waiting all night for it
Oh,
to open, be funny. And
yeah.
it just felt like, is this really happening? It was scary, because all
Yes.
these
I
people
I can I can relate to
into it,
that. Yes.
but that fear was there, that what have I done? And who have I pulled into this? And what is going to happen? And how am I going to make this work? And what if it
Oh,
so all that was just coming at me as fast as it could. And the doors opened, and my friends and people I didn't know, but people I barely knew, some I
ah,
still, on a rainy Saturday in at the end of May, came in here and supported me. And at the beginning, those shelves behind me that are now full were all the books were front facing, and there was about this much space, maybe this much in between them, just to
yeah.
get stock on the. I
So,
didn't know what all
yes.
to get, and they came anyway, and they bought books anyway,
Oh,
and they supported me, made me feel so good. Okay, I got through that first day. And as we've gone through the months, it's only been 6.5 months. uh,
wow.
I elected to stock the shelves not based on what I was told. This is what a town like yours needs. I know
Mm-hmm.
my town, and my
Yes.
town decided, Lexington and Rockbridge County decided what would go on the shelves.
Love.
And I had people I know, but also just visitors, but
Yeah.
especially people in town come in and say, I just read the best book series. And they were
Yes.
talking about, oh my gosh, that's a new book. I don't know much about it yet. Tell me. And I would stock the shelves, and everything here is based on a recommendation. Somebody
Wow.
in the store has read every book in here.
I love
So
that. I love
it's
that
a slow
concept.
process, but it is working. And I feel better knowing that the books around me are books that people from this area have recommended.
Yeah. And I like the idea of, your dream is actually coming to life.
Mhm.
Like you had this goal, and like you said, you had it since you were like 6 years old. So it was kind of like
Yeah.
tucked away inside of you all
Mhm.
this while. You were kind of nurturing it. And all of a sudden, you're like, okay, I'm birthing this out into the world. And for those listening, I love this story because sometimes we're told by society that it's too late.
Mhm.
Like when you hit a
Mhm.
certain age or you're in your 50s, oh, it's too late for you to do that.
Right.
But I love the fact that you did it anyway.
Mhm.
It was a dream of yours for so long. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. And you did, you know?
I did, but you're right. In my head, I was saying, it's just too late. My kids are big.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are growing up and moving out on their own and going to college and so forth. It's time to just do what? Wait a minute.
Exactly.
It's time to do what? And then again, this husband I have that I am so grateful for every day is the one who said, "So what? You're 50.
Yeah.
Now you know what to do. Now
Yeah.
you know how to do this.
True.
Now you know people, you know yourself, you know how to make it
Yes.
happen." And he's the main one who
Yeah.
pushed, and my daughters pushed.
Yeah.
He said, "You've got to
Yeah.
do this." Even my son, who doesn't read, is the one who said, "Do it."
Yeah.
So yeah, those fears were there. And even after we opened and we were moving through the summer when things got really quiet, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh no, 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 no. I'm gonna get through the lease, and then this is the end of it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. This is too much. This isn't gonna
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just getting through that first year and understanding which times of the year are just quiet. And
Yes.
I wanted to see what Christmas was going to be like.
Yeah.
And am I going to be the type of bookstore that Lexington needs? Am
Mhm.
I going to fill the space that a town like this with 2 universities, a
Yes.
reading town? Am I doing what they need me to do? Am I useful? Am I a good part of this
Yeah.
this town and a useful business?
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see that, hey,
Yes.
this is the right thing.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I
getting
love
that
it. Love it.
confidence.
Love it. I love it. I mean, I think that's so exciting, but I love the fact that you also brought up the fact that even after you had done it, there were still
Mhm.
fears like, oh, did I do the right thing? I'm slow now. And then for anyone listening, that's going to happen. But I can tell you this, that you're going to be glad when you're much older, because you're still young. When you're much older, you're going to be like, I'm so glad I did this, regardless of how the bookstore evolves. You're going to be glad
Right.
that you took that step and did it. And see, that's one of the things I hear a lot about. Like, I do a lot of research on what people do when they're like on their deathbed, like what are their thoughts, what are they thinking? And one of the top one is that they didn't go after the goal that was in their heart. Like they had these different goals and they kind of like, oh, I'll wait. And then after a while, it really became too late.
Mhm.
You know?
Why wait? Why have the regrets? And I
Yeah.
think that's what was said is, if you don't go in and do this and somebody else does, if somebody else opens that small bookstore that has all the new books and the children's
Mm-hmm.
story time and the book
Yeah.
signing, you're going to be miserable every time you look by.
Yeah.
You're going to regret. Now do it.
Yeah.
And so I signed that lease. And once you sign a lease, you're doing it.
That's right.
That's
That's
it.
like
So
you're locked
jump
in.
in. My husband said, "Here's the pen, sign." So here we are. But that fear that hit late summer, early fall, that, ooh, wait a minute, maybe this is not right. Maybe people are not going to want to hold books and have the actual book. But as it turns out, the support and actually the comments that I've gotten have been, I like that your store is not packed. I like that you
Yes.
have a supply. So if I need a book to take on a trip, if I need a book to give as a gift, etc., it's here. But you don't have everything, and I'm not digging through getting just overwhelmed. It's like you're going to
Yes.
one of those stores that is so full you don't know where to start, or do
Yes.
you prefer to go to a boutique and have some of what you need there and search? So that we're more of a curated book boutique
Yeah.
than
Exactly. Right.
anything
Yes.
else, right? And
Yeah.
it's given me the opportunity to try to be helpful to authors. My mother wrote a
Yes.
book and
Oh, nice.
self-published years and years ago, probably, oh gosh, it's been 19, 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I remember what she went through with the book signings and the getting the books out there, and to write a book and to publish a book and then to promote a book
Yeah.
is a tremendous amount of work and
It,
something that
it
I
is.
cannot imagine doing. So I want to be the one who says, yes, put your book in my store. Not every book,
Right.
but some books, they
Mhm.
speak to you. They say, this is just right. A local
Yeah.
author has a space on the shelf. I will make a space for
Mm.
local authors. Um, However, one day I was here just minding my own business, and inbox this woman who says very sweetly, I wrote a book, and we talked a little bit. And as you know the story, read just pages of your book and said, this has to be on the shelf.
So for those of
And
that don't know, she's talking about me, because some of you might be listening to this and you have no idea what we're talking about. But go ahead.
well, I read just a few pages and actually couldn't stop and kept going and kept going and kept going. And by the time you came back, I think you went to lunch with your son and got a few more. I said, this is a great book to be on our shelves. And we soon made plans for you to come and have a book signing. And I think there's more in our future for you here at Downtown Books.
Yeah. And it was interesting because I came to Lexington to drop off my son. He's at W&L. And I told my husband, let's look around and see if they have any bookstores in town. Mm-hmm. So I got to hers and I came in. I was like, okay, let's see. And I'll be honest with you, there was fear in me, but I'm like, you know what? What's the worst she's going to say? She's going to say, no, we can't. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But at least I asked. So I got in and I told her I wrote a book. Would you be interested? And she's like, well, leave one there. She said, how many do you have? I said, well, I have some more. She said, well, let me take a look. So she took a look at it and she's like, how many do you have? She kind of liked the questions and the way it was written. I said, well, I have 5 more. I'll go and get the rest. And so I left them with her. And that's when I came back and she had, put little tabs on different ones. And I shared this story to say that you just never know who you're going to meet. It was I just walked into her store, but I felt really comfortable in the store. As soon as I walked in, it just felt so warm. There was just this energy that just said, okay, ask the question. And just even the books on the store, I came in with my husband. It was just a really warm place. And I share this because, listen, there are so many opportunities around you that sometimes you miss because of fear. And I'm just saying, just go after it. Now I have a wonderful relationship with Paige. We did I did a book signing in her store in October. It was amazing. And I really genuinely love her. She is an amazing person, and her bookstore, listen, if you're in Lexington, you need to stop by. It's just a place to go. It's almost like a little place, like a tourist attraction. You just go in there, you see all the different books, you speak with her. It's just a wonderful place. It really is.
Well, I'm just grateful that you walked in that day. And I will tell you, after you left, I thought, well, why'd you have to leave? don't go. Stay and hang out. Don't leave, because you bring with you so much wonderful, genuine energy. And I think that's why your book is the way it is. It's because you put your heart into that and you're genuine and you are you're spot on with the questions and with everything that you're putting out there. It's just fantastic.
And so for those listening, the book is actually called 50 Questions to Answer When You Reach 50. And I wrote that book because I really want women in their 50s and over to fall in love with themselves one question at a time. And so when you answer the questions, it allows you to really think about you. You don't need to get the answers from other people around you. It's just all about you. And there is no judgment. It's just, you just write down what you think. And that's the book she's talking about. And when I walked into her store, I wasn't sure. Into her bookstore, I was like, oh, will she carry it? Because it's a different type of book. It's not for everyone. It's a book that it's not something you just read and put down. It's a book that you actually have to take action with while you're reading. And so I was so glad that she was like, okay, yeah, we'll take it. And then the fact that she read it, which I think is, and that's the thing she does in her bookstore. Most of the books there are ones she knows or people have recommended. So she's not just going to put any book on the store in there. And so when you walk in and you see a book, she can actually tell you who referred it and what they thought about it. Or if she's read it, she'll let you know. So I think that's, an amazing way to, because you get to know what you're reading because people want to know.
And reading is very personal. And you can't just have someone walk in and say, I need something new. Okay, here, read this. That's not going to work because some people are mood readers. Some people are seasonal readers. Some people read anything. Some people will only read certain things. So you really have to look at what they want at the time and go from there. And it's just a very personal thing. And one of my favorite things to do is to have someone come in and say, either I need something great or I need something great for somebody else. And then to go through that process of talking about what do you love, what do you not love, what are you in the mood for, what's, et cetera. To go through that process of selecting a book takes time. And that's why I want people to come in the door, relax. At the moment we have warm cider, get some cider, walk around, let's talk about what you want, sit and read a few pages if you want to. We have
Mm,
seating, which I would like to expand. And so people can come and just read through and see what makes them happy and
yeah.
leave the store saying, oh, I can't wait to get through with
Yeah.
what I have to do today
Yeah.
so I can sit down with this book. But part of
Yes.
what we have, there's a section, there's obviously fiction with all the amazing stuff there, but
Hmm.
a nonfiction section with the self-help type
Hmm.
books. And that's where Kwavi, that's where your book resides,
Hmm.
with a little sign that says WNL Mom, because a lot of people care.
Hmm.
People care. People are wonderful.
Yes.
They are, I have found in just this little bit of time I've been open, people are just wonderful. And they come in the door, you say, hey, how are you? Great, how are you? And you start this conversation, and then people stay an hour and just visit, and we get to know each other. And then I've got a new friend. And when they come in later, whether they're local or traveling or whatever it is, there's someone who's familiar, and it's starting to grow, and it's just starting to be amazing. But what I'm finding is people coming in looking for things for other people.
Mm.
And that's where I can go. And now that I know your book, I know you, I know what you're doing. And it's so easy for me to say, yes, this is right for the
For
person
that
you're
person.
shopping for.
Yeah.
Book will do it. And will do what you want it to do. And
I
so I'm
love that.
grateful that I've gotten to know you so well, because it makes it easier for me to give good advice.
Yes. And the other thing too, I love this process you mentioned. You did that with my husband because he loves to read. And I
Mm.
remember you asking, like, so do you like this type of book? Do you like, like lengthy books? Do you like short? I mean, and that's the process she takes everyone through when they come in to ask for a book, which I think
Mhm.
you don't get that anymore. I mean, how many places do you go to? They'll ask you what kind of books you like. Do you like this? You like, no one, you hardly see that. So listen, if you're in Lexington, and I'll tell you this, when I dropped my son off in Lexington, I did not have any expectations. I'm just going to be honest. I just thought, okay, it's a small town. Okay, I'm just going to drop off my son and we'll just kind of be on with it. But I'm telling you, the warmth of that city is
Mhm.
amazing. I mean, where we had breakfast, I mean, everywhere we went, we met people. It was just amazing. From the boutique we went to where we had breakfast. People are really warm and friendly.
Mhm.
And I'll be honest, I was very surprised, but pleasantly surprised.
Mhm. And they are, and it stays that way. They treat visitors that way. They treat
Yes.
residents that way. We're all like, everybody treats us that way. And I noticed after I opened, people would stick their head and say, hey, I'm running errands. Just want to tell you, I heard about your store. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And I'd be like, okay, boost a little bit. And
Yeah.
then someone else would pop in. I've had people bring me well, here's one I love. My father-in-law
Yeah.
sent, for opening, the most beautiful bouquet of flowers. Beautiful.
Oh.
The big arrangement with all the gorgeous colors that I put on the front table.
Oh.
Of course, it came from a small florist. So, all these
Yes.
businesses got to meet the new florist. All these neat little
Oh.
connections started happening. Had the beautiful flowers. Other friends brought flowers and wine and candles and presents,
Oh.
just to say welcome to the
Oh.
street. These are other businesses who support
Yeah.
what I'm doing, and the town does that. We all support each other, and I think that's why this town is so vibrant. Our day-to-day
Yeah.
business, we don't go to the outskirts to get it done. It's all right here. So
Yeah.
we
I
see each
agree.
other all the time, moving around, and the restaurants are, most of the time, the owner is in the restaurant
Yeah. Yeah.
doing the
Exactly.
cooking. It's not just, okay, farm it out, let someone deal with it.
Yeah.
And they put their souls into these stores and these
Yeah.
restaurants and businesses here, and it shows.
Oh, yeah. It definitely
And
shows.
so that's why they've been so wonderful. And I've had people come in and say, and I know that they can get the book for less, and they can sometimes get it overnight or within a
Right.
couple of days
Mm-hmm.
from somewhere else that I won't mention.
Yeah.
And yet people will still come in here
Yeah.
because they'd rather support a small business.
Mm-hmm.
And that just speaks volumes for people.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
agree. I love supporting small businesses. I
Mhm.
just think because small businesses are the lifeline,
Mhm.
of our community. It really is. And so whenever I have a choice, I am always going to go with a small business owner. It just, and then the person, you get to know. That's how relationships are formed. I mean, that's how our relationship was formed. That's
Right.
how relationships are formed. And so for those listening, when you can,
Mhm.
just do your part to support a local business.
Mhm.
because they're putting their whole heart into what they're doing, because running a business isn't easy. And so for someone to put themselves out there, they must love it, because if not, they wouldn't be doing it.
Oh, right. And it's all about what we love. And then it becomes the people we see every day. And
Mm,
I look forward to coming in and who's going to come in the door. And they're friends that I don't see as much as I used to now that our kids all drive. We used
yeah.
to see each other in the pickup line at the local elementary school, picking our kids up and at ballet and baseball
Yes,
games.
true.
And as that starts to fade away a little bit, I'm now seeing those friends again that I would not normally run
Yes.
into. And that makes for a great day to have
Yeah.
those contacts. And I hope that one day soon, this bookstore is not just a place to buy a book, but a place where someone can walk in and say, I have just had the worst day. I just need to come in here and sit. And they can just
Listen,
come in and just go, sit down, relax, take the
that
load
is
off.
the place though. Listen, I've been to that store. That bookstore is exactly that and more. You walk in there, it's almost like you walk into a different world. You walk in there and you're like, ah, really? So if you're in Lexington, you need to stop by Downtown Books. You have to stop by there.
You have to
It's
come
just,
back to
oh, I
Lexington.
have to come back. Oh, that's a given. I'm going to come back in the spring for sure. I mean,
Okay.
I really love that town. And it just kind of, I guess I fell in love unknowingly. Like, it's just amazing. I really do love it.
Mhm.
It's a different vibe because I'm all about the city. So
Mhm.
a small town, I'm like, okay, you know what, babe, we're going to do our thing. We're going to be out. No. We actually ended up spending an extra day when we first dropped
Oh,
him off, because we had
mhm.
planned, we'll take off the next day. No, we dropped him off and we stayed. I mean, he didn't want to see us, but we kind of stayed and did our own thing. My
Yeah.
son was like, he's done. But we stayed and, kind of, had lunch and dinner and just, and then walking Main Street. I
Mhm.
love walking on Main Street. I
Mhm.
mean, they have that little ice cream shop. I mean, it's just, for those listening, listen, just take a trip to Lexington and
Mhm.
just stop by Paige's store and tell her I sent you, that you heard this video, you heard this YouTube video, and you're like, you have to stop by. You have to
And then
stop
come
by
pick
her.
up an autographed copy of your book. You signed them all. So pick
Yes.
up a signed copy of your book
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah. I
browse
mean,
around a little bit.
browse
Yeah.
around and look at other books that she has, and maybe you need some other book recommendations from her.
And they
She'll
might
do
have
that.
recommendations for me. Your husband recommended
True.
books. I've got
That's
3 on
true.
the shelf right now that he recommended.
That's
So
true.
actually they were
Yeah.
on the shelf, then they were sold. Now they're back on the shelf again. Ordered
See?
more. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly how,
See, these are the kind of relationships we're building here. And, as women over 50, I just want to say that we have so much life left in
Mhm.
us. We have so much creativity. This is not the time to say, okay, you know what, you're going to kind of fade into the shadows. You
Mhm.
have so much more to offer, all of you that are listening. And so I just want to encourage you in this way and let you know that your dreams are valuable. Don't let anyone kind of make you think, oh, you know what, doesn't matter anymore. You're older. You're still worthy. You're still valuable. Your creativity, your experience counts for a lot of things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're more valuable. I think
Yeah.
we know
Yes.
more. And if I had tried to do this when I was 30, uh, I just I don't see that it would have done what it's doing,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah.
But if someone has a dream, something they feel like a passion, definitely a passion,
Yes.
then why are you not doing it?
Yeah. Why not?
And
It's
if
like,
it's your age, try again, scratch that.
try.
That's the
Yeah.
reason to
That's
do it.
not that's not a valid reason. I'm just saying. I mean, the other day I had a lady send me an email. She's 51 years old and she's in her first year of medical school.
That's amazing.
I mean, so I share this to say, do not let society get into your head and make you feel that your dreams are no longer valuable, or make you feel as an individual that you have nothing to offer. You have so much. Do you know all that experience you've gathered up until
Mhm,
this point? Oh my goodness, it is priceless.
mhm. Yep, and why not do something that just brings you joy every day
Yeah, this is the
and
time.
create a space or create something that other
Mm,
people can love. And so when you do get further down the line, you can look back and say, I don't have to regret anything. I
no.
did what I wanted to do. I made a positive impact on,
Yes.
others in some way, whether it's a
Yes.
community or, however you did it. And you can look back and say, well done.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
regrets.
That's it. And you can share the stories with your grandchildren, great grandchildren, others, so that you can, because I really think that when we do this, we're inspiring the younger generation by doing things like this. And so I want us to all be examples to say, you know what, as we get older, it doesn't mean that we have to stop. It just means that it just means, okay, we're older, but we can still continue. If we have those
Right.
dreams, we can still do them. It doesn't mean, oh, it's over. No.
No, we just have more tools now.
Yes, definitely more tools for sure. For sure. Oh, this was so nice. I'm so glad you took the time because I know you're busy. I'm glad you took the time for us to have this discussion. And like I said, if you are in Lexington, I just want to say you have to stop by Downtown Books. And the beautiful thing about Lexington, you don't have to look too far. You just get to Lexington and just ask, you'll find it. It's not,
Yeah, but you can park your car one time and then just move around. You don't have to
that's it.
move in the parking.
One time.
It's a walking town.
It's a walking town.
Such a safe town. And it's my happy place.
It is. I definitely agree. It is a very charming, happy, safe town. So you park your car. That's what we did. We parked somewhere and we just walked. And that's the thing. I love walking in Lexington because it's not too much. You don't have to walk too far. And you just see all these different stores and you kind of walk in, pop in, and you come out. So definitely catch that. And Paige said something where she said, sometimes you might have a dream or a goal and maybe you're kind of like scared to go after it. I just want to share with you that I want you to do it. And if you need help doing that, that is something that I do. I have an online community called Flourish, where I help women in their 50s and over rediscover their purpose and passion. Because I know for some of you, maybe you've raised your kids, maybe you've been in a different career, and all of a sudden you still have this yearning to do more and be more. I help women with that. We have a community where we support each other, we inspire each other, and we keep each other accountable. Because sometimes it's easy to say, okay, I want to do this. And then when it comes time to doing the work, you're like, I don't want to do that. So we can help keep you accountable so that you can experience the priceless feeling of seeing your dream or goal come to life. Listen, that feeling is just priceless when it happens. And so I just wanted to share that. Paige, once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Kwavi. You were so kind to invite me to talk to you today. It's great to see you.
Yes.
Talk to you like this. And I'm really looking forward to you coming back. Let me know.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
This way. I definitely want to see you when you're in town.
Yes, for sure. All right. Thank you. And thank you all for listening. Take care. Bye. If you enjoyed listening to this show, you have to take a look at Flourish, my online global community exclusively for women in their 50s and beyond. We talk about the important issues affecting women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond in a safe and non-judgmental environment. We also provide the tools and resources to help you create your best life on your own terms. It's never too late and you're not too old. Go to the link below to learn more.